So in this section on what you should do now really has to do with the first 24 hours of your video. Let's say from 3 hours after publishing, because that's how long it's going to take before you start getting data, and then about 24 hours, possibly 48 hours, but it's within the first few hours that are most important. So what you'll do, let's get onto YouTube Studio here, and you'll see this information as we just saw. This is your most recent video. Now, this is my data so far has been for 25 days, but yours is going to be for, let's say, 24. Let me just show you what we have here. We have ranking, number 5, not so great, but not so bad. Views, this check mark means we're doing okay, it's an average. My click-through rate is pretty good. It's above average, 8.1 at the moment, but my view duration is down. That's only because it's a short video. So what you would do here is go into your video analytics, and the first thing you're going to see is this graph under the overview tab. This graph is going to show you how well are you doing compared to past videos, the average. And the average here is in the gray. Now, let's go ahead. This is for 25 days. If you go right up here, you can change the time period. Let's go to first 24 hours. In the first 24 hours, my view count is doing above average. So that's something positive. If you're below average, that's of course something you want to look at and figure out possibly why. It might be your thumbnail and or your title. That's the first thing you want to do. Number 2, I want you to go over to the reach tab right here. And here we're going to look at 2 different things, impressions and click-through rate. Now impressions, this is the first 24 hours. Impressions, you'll need to look at your videos and look at past videos and see within 24 hours what is the average. Now for me, it's 1,000 and this is 1.1, so it's doing slightly better. So we're doing about average with impressions. The second thing you want to look at is your CTR, your click-through rate. Now earlier you saw it was 8.1. That's great. It got better because I made a change that I'm going to talk to you about in a moment. But my average for my channel is about, let's say, around 6%. If it was anywhere below 6%, then I'm going to consider making a change. And that's what I want you to do. If you have average impressions, but your click-through rate is doing well or about average, just let it sit. That's fine. You're doing okay. However, if your impressions are average or your impressions are lower than average, and your click-through rate is below average, then you're going to want to make a change. And what that change is going to be is you want to take your thumbnail and your title and re-examine them. Start out maybe by switching your thumbnail, wait a few hours and see if there's a change. If not, maybe change your title, see if there's a change. And this sometimes takes 2, 3, or 4 times. So it's a good idea to have a thumbnail and a title, a second or a third option ready for you. That's what the pros do. All right, so if we go to our analytics, let's take a look. Since published, it took off. My video took off, started doing very well. And then it started to dip into the average section. And around here, this is when I re-examined things. And let's take a look what I did. I changed the title. I kept the thumbnail, but I changed the title. So my suggested, this is the original title I had. This app does something special the others don't, and it did well. Then YouTube didn't really pick it up as much, so we needed to consider going to something more search-based. Then I put in this particular title. This app does one thing better than the others, and I put in Moment Pro Camera, which is the application I was using, and this is more search oriented. And what happened was here it went from that 6 point something click-through rate and then started going up, and it's going up even more now to over 8%. So keep that in mind. What do you do when you have low or average impressions and a low click-through rate? Do something about your thumbnail and title.